And so the Bahrain Desert welcomes top-level motorsport to its infamous circuit. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to round number 2 of this season's Formula A World Championship, and this is the Bahrain Grand Prix, live from here in Sakir. Last time out in Austria, Alexia Pernet walked away with a victory, but she starts third in the grid here today, and this is the best possible chance for her closest challengers to step up to the plate and get their season off and running. Let's have a look at the track then. The Bahrain International Circuit features 15 corners, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, with a decent amount of long straights helping to make up this 5.4 kilometre circuit. Our 22 drivers will contest 11 laps here today, and hopefully they'll provide some iconic moments for us, such as the titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in 2014, with Hamilton defending the fall of the checkered flag, or Fernando Alonso's glorious Ferrari debut here in 2010. So, without further ado, let's have a look at the starting grid then. It's fireside Sergio Arbeloa on pole position with Milton Verve second, looking to bounce back after his retirement for the lead in Austria. Then it's his teammate Alexia Pernet in third, who inherited the lead and won last time around, with Sophie Sevilla in fourth place. Chloe Thomas lines up in fifth, and it's Pascal Becker, unable to match his teammate in qualifying, and starts sixth for the second race in a row. Oscar Diaz performs his best qualifying of the season in seventh, with Luca Gatto in eighth for Jaguar RT. It's the two Delta Moore cars of Mohamed Al Hadre and Joe Daly who occupy the fifth row. They currently sit fourth place in the Constructors' Championship, then it's a pair of Brazilians on row 6. Axel 76 is Lucas Favorani and XCT's Eduardo Melo. Max Schmidt lines up 13th, while Liam Turton sets a new personal best in qualifying, starting 14th in just his second race start, with Nathan Deneux and Scott Price for Abbey Academy and Jaguar RT lining up behind them on row 8. Row 9 sees Bruno Cabral line up alongside Mick Wallin, with William Evans unable to beat his teammate in qualifying, and Luigi Marchetta unable to match his 18th place grid slot in Austria for Morimoto. And finally, it's the same row 11 from the last round, with Eric Turner and rookie Riku Tanaka rounding them off. Teams have made their final preparations, so let's head down to the grid for the start. 22 cars then, all lined up on the grid for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix, the second race of this season's Formula 2 Championship. 5 red lights are on, Arbeloa and Verve on the front row. 5 red lights are out, and we are underway for round 2. Off they go down towards the first corner. Arbeloa with an excellent start, but here comes Alexia Pernet down the middle, going in towards the first corner. Verve falling away big time there. Pernet on the inside, and the winner of the first race in Austria looks set to try and win the second race as well. She takes the early lead away from Arbeloa, then it's one of the Abbey Grand Prix cars. I believe that's Chloe Thomas in third place. Verve shot to fourth, Sevilla fifth, and I think Pascal Becker is still in sixth. Yes, he is. So there goes the Delta Moore racing car to the inside. Arbeloa makes contact with Chloe Thomas behind him. As Pernet is pulled away to an insurmountable lead for the race to even got going. Wow, what a start from the Apex Grand Prix driver. Apex Grand Prix, Apex UK, there we go. The fireside of Arbeloa still continuing to run second. Got to hold off the South African driver behind him in that fireside car, which should be quite strong around the Bahrain circuit. I mean, he took pole, but compared to his teammate Pascal Becker, who's running back in the 6th position, I believe, he's not doing a pressure job. No, he's dropped to 7th on the start. It looks like Mohamed Al Hadre managed to get past him going down towards the first corner, but Pernet pulled away to a big lead on the start, all single file here as they come towards the end of the second sector now. We'll take a look at Pernet's pulled out already. It's already up to 1.6 seconds, and this is the level of dominance. What an opening lap Pernet's just had, going from third on the grid to taking the lead even faster than she did in Austria. What a start. She comes around the final 2 corners. Of course, turn 14, the right hander has like a little kink here he has to go through. And there you go, passing there. And to complete the first lap of the Grand Prix, it is Alexia Pernet, the French driver, once again out front, a 1:36.5 the opening lap. Half a second separate Arbeloa from Chloe Thomas. That first corner will be the best opportunity to try and make a move for any position going onto the new lap. Riding on board with the Mexican now, who of course started on pole, only lost 1 place. And there's contact behind them. Riku Tanaka worked their way up to 17th on the opening lap from last, and he's made contact with Bruno Cabral in that first corner. He's going to have the Portuguese driver right on his tail again as they go down in towards turn 4. Down to the inside, Tanaka defending well on the inside, on the outside, but not getting. It's just going to stay ahead of Cabral, and here comes, I believe that's Nathan Deneux behind him, trying to make a move on the Portuguese driver in the Thornton for that position. Here's Lucas Favorani running in the 10th position, trying to score some points to get his campaign underway, and it's Joe Daly, who had an incredible debut last time, finishing P8, trying to close down on him. halfway through the second lap now, and down the straight they come. Favorani trying to close in on Luca Gatto, who of course managed to take the last point in Austria, so get Jaguarati off to a point scoring start. Here's Pernet, the gap now down only slightly, but down to 1.5 seconds as opposed to 1.6 it was at the start of the last sector. And coming down towards the last corner once again, it's still Pernet in control, and she'll be hoping to maintain that position just for as long as she can. If she can win this next race, that'll be a perfect 2 out of 2. 50 points towards her championship total, or 50 points is the total she'll be on, regardless. 1.4 seconds now, Arbeloa closing in slowly but surely, and he'll be hoping to try and take that top spot away. But Pernet absolutely in another lead right now, and unable to stop by the looks of it. Here's Scott Price running P19, I believe that's Eric Turner behind him in 20th, who's trying to pull out to make a move, not getting close enough. 0.3 seconds now, could we see a move, but it looks like Luigi Marchetta's trying to come to the inside. There's no contact between them. Take a look at the positions gained in the top left of your screen. Pernet's gained 2, Arbeloa's lost 1. Chloe Thomas has also gained 2. Milton Verve's lost 2, of course he was trying to go for the lead on the start but fell back. Sophie Zvia's lost 1. Pascal Becker has managed to gain that spot back from Marin Alhadre, who's gained 2. Oscar Diaz and Luca Gatto have both lost 1, and Lucas Favorani has gained 1. So there is your top 10 as of now. Of course, that could still very easily change. Of course, we saw in the first round, Verve retired with that engine failure on just the second lap, and that was absolutely crucial. And that is the reason why he's bottom of the championship at the moment. And these 12 points that we're getting for finishing 4th, provided he does finish 4th, will be the first 12 points towards his championship bid. He's quite a way behind the top 5 as of now, because they'll all be scoring points today. And because he didn't score any points in the first race, obviously, he'll be quite a way off and may require a victory or so to get himself up into those positions. Here's Max Schmidt for Ruiz Motorsport, trying to close down on, I believe that's Nick Holland, but also trying not to lose any time to Nathan Dagnot behind him. Of course, the Abbey Academy driver trying to impress for that team. That is the idea of the B team, so they can move up and join Abbey Grand Prix one day in the event one of their drivers moves out of the way. Back down the straight they come in. We're on the start of lap 4 now. It's Pernet still in complete control and still holds that lead of around 1.5 seconds. Arbeloa will still be looking to close down. But he's built quite a gap back to Chloe Thomas, so I doubt he has to worry about her unless he makes a mistake of some kind. But Pernet, as I said, in complete control. The gap now to 1.7 seconds. So the first sector is really where Pernet manages to pull away, but she loses quite a bit of time on the longer straights in the last sector. Here's Arbeloa now, the Mexican, still trying to close in. Scott Price locks up behind Bruno Cabral, so looks like he managed to. I didn't manage to find his way past that time around. He's got almost 3 seconds on Luigi Marchetta behind him. Of course, he qualified 18th in the last race at Austria. Wasn't able to match that, and he's unable to do that well now. All 22 cars still running as of now. Through this next corner they come. There's Arbeloa still just under a second ahead of Chloe Thomas. Who'll be looking to quickly close them down. She's not gaining any time as it is. Because Arbeloa managed to finish 3rd last time out in Austria after the retirement from Verve pushed him up to 5th, and then managed to pass both Chloe Thomas and his own teammate Pascal Becker for position, with just a few laps to go, and that managed to claim him 3rd. So 15 points is his current championship score, and he'll be on to take another 18 to put him on 33, which won't be too bad a start. Of course, that'll prop Fireside up in the Constructors' Championship. Most likely, I don't see anyone other than Team Apex taking the lead with those 50 points for Pernet plus the 12 that Verve may get. Liam Turton now defending from Eduardo Melo, and looks like Bruno Cabral slowing up. The other Thornton driver has a problem. He's definitely not been performing as well as his own teammate, and Cabral's slowing up. It looks like things are over for him. He may have to retire on the front straight here. There he is, pulling over, just like that for him the race is over. Smoke pouring out the back of that Thornton machine, and we'll be able to see here exactly what the issue was that sent him out the race. Pernet in control. Cabral's car being lifted away. And they'll be able to tell us here another engine failure, so these issues definitely becoming a regular fixture in these races. We've had 1 retirement in each race due to it. Of course, durability will be a big factor in deciding who comes out on top in these races. Durability just as crucial as performance can be in some of these situations. Chloe Thomas closing in now. Last lap it was 0.8 seconds. This time it's 0.7. So only very slightly, but still closing in nonetheless. Oscar Diaz looks to be slowing up. Perhaps he's running a lot lower on his line. It looks like the race is over him too. Yep, he's pulling over and his race is over as well. What has happened to the XCT, the Colombian of Oscar Diaz? And as I talk about durability, of course XCT had major problems with that in testing. They were unable to do a full race distance, or try to do any distance for that matter. But no, it wasn't even a failure of any kind. This was a puncture that has put Diaz out of the race, and it appears he wouldn't been able to make it back to the pits. So for the Colombian Oscar Diaz, for XCT, the race is over. And Rico Tanaka running wide now. He's made a mistake, and that can allow Scott Price through. So it's all falling apart for some of these guys here. So begin lap 6. Scott Price finds his way around Rico Tanaka, and just like that, that is just not good for anyone. Tanaka's doing incredibly well, to be honest. He's started last. Once again, he's up to 17th. Doing a great job considering the machinery he's been given. He's been beating his teammate, Luigi Marchetto, and that's the important thing for them, as well as perhaps taking a few surprising finishes and scoring some points. But that could be a very, very lofty task, considering the way they've been in testing and the first race alone. So Pernet still leading the way here. So come through the second sector, down into the left-hander now. The gap's still very close between Arbeloa and Thomas, not close to be able to make a move. There's still a couple car lengths between them. But Pernet in complete control. That gap could be nearing 3 seconds. It was 2.5 at the start of the last sector. Still 2.5 now. And it's back up to 0.8 seconds. Eric Turner slowing up, and could there be an issue for him as well? If he's pulling over, that's it for him. Retirements galore here in Bahrain, and no one seems to survive. And that is it for Eric Turner's Ruiz Motorsport car. The race is over for him. The marshal should be pushing the car away. Engine failure, bringing the race to an end for Eric Turner. That's 2 engine failures in one race, 3 failures in 2 races, plus the puncture from Oscar Diaz. So we're down to 19 cars in this race, just like that. And here's his teammate, Max Schmidt, who will no doubt be fearing that his car could go up in smoke as well. Because if it happened to one team's car, it happens to be up just as easily. We're yet to see a double retirement for any team in this series, but we'll be hoping we don't have to see that. Mick Walland looking to the inside of Liam Turton, running a very impressive 12th. A few more retirements in that regard could see him score some surprise points, but the reliability of the cars ahead of him seem very good, and I doubt that'll happen. Pernet still in complete control. The last thing she'd want to do now is retire. We'll be hoping that the wave that's going around doesn't get to her next. Turton locks up, and that could allow Mick Walland to close in. But he's not going to get any closer now, so the gap's still at 0.6 seconds. It's gone up since the start line, since they're at the start line. But yes, Turton doing an incredible job for only his 2nd race in Formula A. He's holding off multiple cars here. Pernet still showing the way by around 2.5 seconds. It's now down to 2.1. As I say that, Arbeloa is trying to close in. That fireside, in testing alone, did have the straight line speed needed to stay on top, and they were considered the favourites going into a track such as this, where there's a lot of long straights, perfect for attacking. But it would appear otherwise. And here's the other fireside, Pascal Becker, the gentleman running in 6th place. He's been unable to match that of his teammate or the teams around them. 4 laps to go now. Pernet still in complete control, as she has been for the majority of the race. No lead changes since the opening lap. Chloe Thomas still running 3rd on for a very good podium, and she'll be looking for that position in order to boost Abbey Grand Prix chances in the Constructors' Championship. Of course, they are leading the way in that table going into this race, but that most likely will change due to Apex taking both the 2 victories from the start of the season. Back to Arbeloa now, and we'll take a look at the positions gained and lost for the top 10 drivers. Still, for the majority of these guys, it's about the same. Luca Gatto is back to where he started, as is Joe Daly. Lucas Faveroni's gained 2, Mohamed Al-Hadri's gained 2, and it's the same for all these guys in the top 5. Pernet +2, Arbeloa -1, Chloe Thomas +2, Milton Verve -2 due to that start, and Sophie Sevilla -1. None of these guys were able to make any real progress due to the large gaps between them. And those gaps have really been helping Alexia Pernet. She's able to hold the lead. She has done for the last 8 laps or so. Coming to the end of the 2nd section now, we'll be able to see what the gap looks like now. The gap still is just over 2 seconds, and it still is just over 2 seconds. Nothing gained for Arbeloa, and he's only got 3 laps left to do so, just over 3 laps, to try and close down any gap. I doubt he'll be able to take the victory from here, because Pernet's car is just as good as his. But of course, then any any points be appreciated to come their way. Here's Arab Mohamed Al-Hadri for Dalton Moore. Of course, he's definitely living up to their illustrious name. Quite a historic name in motorsport is Dalton Moore, and they're making their mark in Formula A. Doing exceptional job. I believe they've also got Joe Daly up in the points. 3 laps to go now for Al-Hadri. Scott Price running 16th still. Closing in now on Nathan Vigneault in front of him. Well, I believe that's William Evan, I'm not quite sure. Can't really see them much based on their helmets. Arbeloa still second. I'll be hoping that no issues come his way this late on, because there'll be a lot of points lost, and it would seem that in that regard that around 26 points become just 8. So just 2.5 laps now left to go. He's not gaining any time on Pernet, which is something he's going to have to do if he wants any chance of winning this race. Like I said, I doubt he can win it from here. And if anything, he should be more concerned with Chloe Thomas behind him, because she's not gaining either. But she was gaining in previous laps, so it's shown that she can easily make progress with that BMW engine in the back of the Abbey Grand Prix car, which of course is yet to take a victory. It's only the second race, so cut them a bit of slack. Pernet still leading by 2.2 seconds. She'll be coming around to start her penultimate lap this time. And there's a gap of around 1 to 2 seconds for everyone in the top 5 between them. So no real overtaking opportunities have arisen for any of them, due to the fact that none of them really made any mistakes. They've all made flawless drives today, but unable to catch anyone in front of them. That's why Pernet's going to walk away with the victory by the looks of it. 2 laps to go. Al-Hadri trying to close down on Pascal Becker, and Luca Gatto running 8th. Of course, he finished 10th last time. He'd gone wide there, and that could be crucial. He could lose a place if anyone's closer to him. Fortunately, there's no one really near him. The closest driver near him being Lucas Favorani, and he's not. He's about a second or 2 behind. Yeah, it was 3 seconds last time. Now he's down to 1.82 for that mistake. But he's got really lucky there, because if he lost any more time, he could have really been under threat. Chloe Thomas now, still trying to catch Arbeloa. The gap down to 1.3, up to 1.3 seconds. It's definitely increased in recent laps. She's really not making the same progress that she was earlier on in the race. Staying ahead though of Milton Verve and of course her teammate Sophie Sevilla, who finished second in the first race. Down the straight they fly now. So it does look like Pernet's victory without a shadow of a doubt. Like I said earlier, she's been in another league today. Flawless drive, and once again completely deserving of the race victory. It'd be incredibly cruel for it to be snatched from her now. 2.4 seconds the gap now between her and the Mexican behind her. Should be coming around now to start the final lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix, which hasn't been the most exciting Grand Prix of all time, but a race nonetheless. The action appears to have all been going on behind them as opposed to for them as drivers. So they begin the final lap now. Pernet still in control. Pascal Becker's really full on the way here. He's going to have to get his season going, and fast. Chloe Thomas through turn 1. On course to take the podium finish. Liam Turton on course to take a top place finish. No points off for him today, by the looks of it, unless we see 2 last lap retirements, but there's very low odds of that. But he's still doing an incredible job for Thornton, considering they are predicted to finish 9th in the Constructors' Championship. But they're still doing a very good job for the machinery they have, and for a team that only materialised November last year, they're still doing very well with what they have. Verve to get 12 points towards his championship total for the year, and that will be his first 12 points of the season, provided that he can make it round this last half lap. But it's his teammate Alexia Pernet who's been in complete control, and she'll be coming round to finish this race. She's coming towards the last sector for the final time. Still has a big lead over Arbeloa, as the blue and black car that continues to wind its way round the Bahrain International Circuit. She comes down that straight for the final time, and down in towards the last corner to take her second victory of the campaign. Through the last corner she comes, for France, for Team Apex UK, and of course for herself to add a second win to her tally. Alexia Pernet comes across the line now to win the Bahrain Grand Prix round number 2 of the season by 2.5 seconds over Sergio Arbeloa. Third place goes to Chloe Thomas, 4th to Milton Verve, and 5th to Sophie Sevilla. Pascal Becker comes through, not the best of races for him, doesn't gain or lose anything, he finishes in 6th. It's a great race for Mohamed El Hadri, who adds to his points total and to Dalton Moore's in the Constructors' Championship. Luca Gatto improves on his best finish, he comes home 8th, and Joe Daly trying to close on Lucas Favorani, won't get there. The Brazilian gets 9th, and Daly comes away with another point for his total. The race is over, so not much action happening up front, but more what was going on behind them. Only 19 finishes today as opposed to the 21 we had last race. But standing on top of them all once again is Alexia Pernet. It's a fully deserved victory and her 2nd of the year. Well, at the conclusion of the Bahrain Grand Prix, let's have a look at the final results from today's race. So Alexia Pernet wins the race by 2.5 seconds over her closest challenger Sergio Arbeloa, Chloe Thomas finishing 3rd, Milton Verve 4th and Sophie Sevilla 5th. And of course we have to keep an eye on those 3 retirements down the bottom there, Eric Turner, Oscar Diaz and Bruno Cabral, 2 of them due to engine failures and 1 of them due to a puncture near the end of the race. Very unfortunate for them, they'll be looking to bounce back. So now let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship after 2 races. Pernet has a perfect 50 points to start the season, Sergio Arbeloa sits 17 points back, then it's Sophie Sevilla, Chloe Thomas and Pascal Becchi are top 5. Milton Verve gets a good 12 points for his efforts and goes back to being 6th in the championship. He'll be looking to push forward even further after his retirement in Austria in the first race, which has definitely set him back quite a bit compared to his teammate. He currently sits tied with Mohamed El Hadri, also on 12 points. It's Oscar Diaz, Luca Gatto, Joe Daly, Lucas Favorani and Mick Milan. And looking at the Constructors' Championship, Team Apex unexpectedly takes the lead of the Constructors' Championship with those 2 victories. Abbey Grand Prix now sits 2nd, Fireside Motorsport still 3rd, and Deltamore Racing still in 4th place. And it's XCT Racing, Jaguar RT, and Axel 76 Motorsport who have all scored points. Ruiz, Thornton, Abbey Academy and Morimoto will all have to wait to score their first points of the season. Well, we hope you enjoyed this special broadcast of the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I hope to see you next time for the Australian Grand Prix at the Albert Park circuit. We hope to see you then.